everyone. Welcome to the May 20th, 2025 meeting of the Santa Barbara City Council. It's great to be back in chambers, and will you please, thanks. Thank you. I'll have a little more to say later on, but first let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you all join me in standing for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Clerk, may I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember Harmon.
Here.
Councilmember Santa Maria. Councilmember Sneddon.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Friedman.
Here.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Present.
Councilmember Jordan. And Mayor Rouse.
All right, thank you. We have a quorum. Now, before we go into our regular agenda, I'd like to have us acknowledge the tragic loss of life that our community has experienced over the past weekend, the 5 individuals who left us far too soon. So on behalf of the mayor, the council, the city of Santa Barbara, please join us in a moment of silence for the 3 Dos Pueblos High School students, the UCSB student, and the bike rider who tragically lost their lives. Our thoughts and prayers and heartfelt condolences are extended to their friends and family and the community at large during this difficult time. So please, let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. And again, our heartfelt condolences to the families of that. So, on to our business of the day. We have 3 proclamations, and first up is the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Come down, and I'll join you down here and present it to Karina, and introduce yourself and who is coming to accept with you. I'll be right there.
This is Lydia Chang and Jonathan Wang.
Well, welcome. I'm going to read the proclamation, and then hand it over and have you make some comments. Normally, there's only 1 to be read, but since I'm back and I'm the mayor for a day, they gave me 3 today, just to test my abilities and make sure I'm fully back. So, this one is for me personally, my family. My wife Julie is Vietnamese, and so I just want to say this one means a lot for my family personally and our heritage as well. So, Asian Pacific and Islander Heritage Month. Whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, AAPI, are a diverse community tracing heritage to dozens of countries and regions including China, India, Japan, the Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, South Korea, Polynesia, Pakistan, Melanesia, and Micronesia. And whereas the Congressional Gold Medal was awarded in 2011 to Japanese Americans who served though their families were incarcerated in concentration camps under Executive Order 9066, awarded in 2017 to Filipino Americans who solely lost their military benefits to the Rescission Act of 1946, and awarded in 2020 to Chinese American veterans who were ineligible for citizenship when the war began due to the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act. And whereas AAPI community members have always battled discrimination, litigating early immigration law, including birthright citizenship, and the infamous Korematsu versus U.S. decision upholding internment, and uniting to create a single AAPI identity to fight injustice following the murder of Vincent Chin, for which the assailants received probation and a fine, but no time in jail. And whereas the first Asian to settle in Santa Barbara was Filipino Antonio Miranda Rodriguez, a founding poblador of Los Angeles, who arrived in Santa Barbara in 1783 and was buried in the Presidio Chapel, after whom came many local Filipino residents and the creation of the Filipino Community Association, which remains active today at 425 State Street. And whereas in the 1860s, Chinese immigrants built a vibrant Chinatown on the first block of East Canon Perdido Street that included mercantiles, laundries, a place of worship, and a community association but which was devastated and dismantled following the 1925 earthquake, when the city chose to adopt a cohesive Spanish colonial revival look, and whereas Japanese residents settled in the blocks of 100 East Cannon Perdido Street and 800 Anapamu Street, or Anacapa Street, in the early 20th century, enriching the area with a grocery store, barber shop, boarding house, billiard hall, and churches until April 1942, when local Japanese Americans were incarcerated at the Gila River concentration camp, after which only a few returned to Santa Barbara. And whereas the city of Santa Barbara respects the many cultural, economic, social, and educational contributions of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders to our community, and now, therefore, I, Randy Rouse, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of Santa Barbara, do by here proclaim May 2025 as Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, and encourage residents to join in the celebration by participating in local AAPI events, reading about AAPI history, and rejecting prejudice. Congratulations. Thank you.
And welcome back. I'm happy to see you back. My name is Karina Jew. I'm an organizer with the Santa Barbara AAPI Solidarity Network, and I want to thank you for this annual recognition of the AAPI community, and I'm always appreciative of this opportunity that we have in May to share some of our heritage, and especially the history of the AAPI community in Santa Barbara. In 2024, our group was fortunate to receive one of the community arts grants, and it allowed us to hold a wonderful celebration of the Lunar New Year on the grounds of the Presidio just this past January 31 and February 1st. And we had simulated fireworks, lion dancing, and projected images of the people of the original and new Chinatowns from the 1800s and early 1900s. And we, for about approximately 500 people over the couple of days. And this was a wonderful celebration, and I am so grateful for your support from the city. So one of the things that I learned as a result of this project, which for me was amazing, was that the Chinese started coming to this area in the 1850s as part of the abalone harvesting industry, and that for 40 years they built ships, Chinese junks, like you see in Hong Kong, on Cannon Perdido Street to support the abalone and other fishing industries. And from our event, we did have this sort of, there aren't any photos from that time period locally, but that's sort of our imagined image in Santa Barbara. So we began this endeavor as part of the recognition of the 100-year anniversary of the 1925 earthquake, which was probably not the beginning, but maybe more like the end of the Chinese or Chinatown in Santa Barbara. Not the earthquake itself, but the aftermath. And so we wanted to tell this story. And so in researching this story, one of the things that I learned is that the Santa Barbara City Council in 1926 condemned and burned down an old adobe that was being occupied by very elderly Chinese who had been living there. Some had moved there after the earthquake when their housing had been destroyed. And so this type of event in the exclusion era was actually really quite common. Although official actions like that are actually relatively rare. And yet, people like Elmer Whitaker helped the Chinese rebuild a new Chinatown a block away, and that same area came to be Santa Barbara's Nihonmachi, or Japantown. And beyond the Nihonmachi, the Japanese had farms throughout Santa Barbara County. But with Executive Order 9066, ordering the incarceration of the Japanese during World War II, that community would lose their homes, their businesses, and their farms. And those that tried to return after the war were refused work. And that is part of the reason why you had that loss of community afterwards. And so I'm bringing this up because there's a great film, and it streams on PBS. It's called Alternative Facts, The Lies of Executive Order 9066. And in it, it discusses these false reports of espionage that were used to justify this incarceration. And I was watching this documentary on my computer, and there was a point where they kind of flashed the original document on the screen, and I could see Santa Maria Valley in the writing, and so it made me curious. So I downloaded from our National Archives that actual document, and it was, interesting to find that Santa Barbara County, its Japanese residents and farmers, and their proximity to infrastructure like lighthouses and railroads were an important way or part of the justification that was used when the government was defending their executive order at the Supreme Court in the landmark internment cases. And what happened there was that government lawyers from the Department of Justice, in preparing their briefs and collecting information, saw that the intelligence reports didn't actually support this espionage narrative. They were actually really contrary. And doing their ethical duty, there actually was a footnote in these briefs stating that it was not supportable. But the Solicitor General at the time found out that this footnote was in there, and they literally stopped the presses in order to remove that documentation. And it wasn't until 40 years later that this deceit was uncovered. And so I'm sharing this story because it involves Santa Barbara, and that we played an important role in our community in this narrative. And because those exact same laws, which had been dormant, are those, the Alien Enemies Act and the Alien Registration Act, are those that facilitated this tragedy, and now they've been revived. And so for all of you as government officials and government workers, it is just a reminder of the important role that you all play in protecting our democracy. So thank you, and I just wanted to allow my friend to make a couple of comments.
Thank you, Karina. And hi, Eric. I am a outrigger paddler, too. I competed in the Nova Speed race last weekend. We missed you. Nice to see you. As much as I would like to say that this kind of a fear towards Asians and anybody foreign as a historical fact, I myself is presently experiencing harassment. I brought to the court the Santa Barbara Superior Court on the months of September, October, trying to put through a restraining order against a man who's been systematically harassing me in my neighborhood. And unfortunately, it was not something I was successful in obtaining, because the restraining order requires a certain amount of limits to which that evidently I was not able to demonstrate that I achieved. However, this idea of espionage, suspicion of spies, it's ongoing. I've been called as a spy for China. People who in my community who support me have been receiving notes in their mailboxes about, why are you supporting the communists? And I have been getting garbage in my mailbox since the pandemic. All the used hand wipes show up in my mailbox. I've had destruction of property. And it is a way of them telling me that I'm not welcomed. It's a way of them telling me that I don't belong. It's a way of them telling me that I should go back to where I came from. And those were the exact words. But I'm here to say that this is my home. I intend to stay. Santa Barbara is where I belong. I am not going to have these kind of ongoing intimidation to be chased out of town. I do feel that there may be a lack of additional support to stop this type of behavior and stop the victimization of people who look like me from subjecting to that. It had made me an activist as part of AAPI. It had made me a lot more vocal than I have ever been. But this is not a historical fact. It is ongoing, and this awareness needs to be present. And I want people to be able to have the courage to stand up and say, this is not okay. And I have found that so many people would rather look the other way, even though privately they came and apologized and felt sad for me. No one wants to speak up. And this is where things become escalated. This is where 20 years, 50 years from now, we'll be reading about what happened historically. So we have an opportunity to prevent this. I'm calling it out to everyone present that let's be aware. So it's just not awareness for API month, but aware of what's going on continuously and voice your opinion, voice your justice. Thank you.
Thank you for all your words, and I just want to say these events and proclamations, they are an attempt to say you are welcome here in Chambers and in the city, and so I thank you both for your words of history and in the present. So with that, I'd like to call up for Mental Health Awareness Month. The high-powered team here, led by our four-legged friend, Donuts. All right, so this is a proclamation on Mental Health Awareness Month for May 2025. Whereas mental health is essential to the overall health and well-being of all people, and promotion of mental wellness, prevention and mental illness, and access to treatment are shared responsibilities across our community. And whereas 1 in 5 adults in the United States experiences a mental health condition in any given year, and many do not receive the care they need due to stigma, lack of access, or systemic barriers and challenges that affect individuals, families, schools, neighborhoods, and workplaces. And whereas the City of Santa Barbara recognizes the vital role that the Santa Barbara County Department of Behavioral Wellness plays in delivering comprehensive mental health, substance use services, advocating for behavioral health equity, and partnering with local agencies to strengthen the continuum of care for our residents. And whereas collaboration between the city and county through efforts such as the Public Safety Peer Support Programs, co-response teams, Thriving Workforce Initiative, and the city's Balance U program reflects a unified commitment to improving access to mental health resources for both employees and the broader community. And whereas this year's national theme for Mental Health Awareness Month, Turn Awareness into Action, calls upon individuals, employers, and government institutions to actively support mental wellness through education, advocacy, and accessible services. And whereas by recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month, we reaffirm our commitment to a thriving, resilient community in which every individual is empowered to seek help, connect to resources, and feel safe, seen, and supported in their mental health journey. Now, therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the City of Santa Barbara, California, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Who'd like to come up and speak?
I guess I'm talking because I was stuck without a chair. I lost on musical chairs. I think it's extremely important to notice that, PD, fire, mental health, counselors, clinicians, we're all here as one because we work together on a daily basis. Mental health is an ongoing, every moment kind of journey, and we have ups and downs, especially in our line of work. And what's beautiful for me is since we've been starting to do peer support, we've become a lot closer to PD, to AMR, paramedics, that kind of thing, because we go to the same calls that really no one should experience, no one should really see in their career, and we do hundreds, thousands of them, and it takes its toll. So for us to be able to work together through the peer support program, sometimes they reach out to me and they say, hey, there's a call here, did you hear about it? And I might be off duty. Sometimes it's vice versa, and then we come together as a group. and work with our community to really try to end the stigma and be aware that it's okay to not be okay. You know, things that we go through can stack up, but if you address them and work through them with peers and friends, that it's really okay to work on it and be loud about it. And then people seeing you go through that kind of thing might be suffering. They're silent, but they'll see that and hopefully they'll reach out and get help as well. So thank you very much.
So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but it's also an opportunity to lift up something that's so important all year round, and that's mental health awareness. And when we think about that, it means helping to normalize talk about mental health. As you heard, we all have struggles up and down. It helps to encourage conversations, but it ultimately helps people to get the services they need when they need it, and to help people to know how to connect. So a huge kudos to the City of Santa Barbara for everything they're doing this month, and they do all year long in that regard. The county is so blessed to have the relationships that we do with CDPD, with fire, and so many others, because we couldn't do this work as a community alone. We have everything from our co-response teams to just collaboration in so many areas that ultimately raises mental health awareness, but it's creating a more resilient and stronger community.
I'll make this quick and short. I just want to thank council, city administrator, our chiefs, and really the community support for first responders, whether it's doctors, EMTs, firefighters, all throughout our county, our city. So thank you very much for your support, and it only helps us serve you better. So thank you.
I too would like to thank council and the city of Santa Barbara. I especially want to thank Suzanne personally. I've known Suzanne now about 6 years. She's helped us, helped the department and fire establish our mental health and peer support. It's been a tremendous benefit to our department and an inspiration to keep things going. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments, especially on the partnership we have with the county and that we have mental health services for our first responders. That's of the utmost importance as well. So now we have our last one. Hope I'm doing all right up here. It's National Public Works Week. Mr. DeMore and our Public Works staff, come on up. All right. So proclamation proclaiming National Public Works Week, May 18th through 24th, 2025. And whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services needed for sustainable and resilient communities, emphasizing public health, high quality of life, and the well-being of residents of the city of Santa Barbara. And whereas the 65th annual National Public Works Week theme, People, Purpose, Presence, spotlights public works professionals who play a critical role in sustaining and enhancing the quality of life for all by responding to emergencies, maintaining roadways, overseeing public building projects, preparing the community for natural disasters, and ensuring the functionality of essential infrastructure such as the local water supply, treatment systems, solid waste management, public buildings, and essential community structures and facilities. That's a lot of stuff you guys do. Whereas Public Works is committed to advancing the City of Santa Barbara's public safety and essential infrastructure, using voter-approved Measure C funds to modernize and improve public access to the police department and assist in the completion of 4 projects at the Central Library, including the Michael Tobes Library Plaza, a new ADA accessible elevator, renovation of the Faulkner Gallery, and construction of ground floor administrative spaces. And whereas the dedicated Public Works staff is committed to its mission to provide the community with a sustainable foundation to thrive by delivering quality services and public infrastructure through efficient, fiscally responsible practices. Now, therefore, I, Randy Rouse, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of City of Santa Barbara, do by proclaim May 18th, 2024 or 28th to 34th, 2025 as National Public Works Week and encourage community members and civic organizations to recognize the importance of Public Works Department and its contributions to our health, safety, and comfort and quality of life. Mr. DeMore.
Thank you, Councilmember Friedman, and I'll say it again, as you've heard throughout the day, we're so happy to have you here in chambers with us. Just going to say a few words. It's an honor to receive this proclamation as I'm in this acting role as Public Works Director. It really, accepting it on behalf of the many great men and women who work in our department in a lot of those different areas that you heard about. A lot of them, like me, prefer to work kind of behind the scenes and get things done. My theme that I've kind of taken on in this acting role is get stuff done. That's what we're all about right now, trying to get stuff done. You've seen we have completed some major work. We have a lot of big work underway with the police station project now, definitely in the construction phase. Other big projects in planning and design. But it's not all about the projects. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that takes place day in and day out just to keep the community running smoothly and ultimately thriving. That's the goal, is community to thrive. So we've got a lot of dedicated staff who give a great amount of effort and energy into that day in and day out. And I've invited from throughout our department a variety of those staff just to be here in chambers. They don't often get to be here. I'm not saying they necessarily want the recognition. I'm not going to call on them and put them in the spotlight, but I do want them to stand up and just have the council recognize and the community recognize them for the great work that they do. So. Yeah. And if any of you want to say something, you're welcome. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeMore, and thank you all of our wonderful presentations today. All right, so now we're on to Madam Administrator. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, if we could pull item number 7 from the consent calendar, there's a need to make a small clerical change to that item.
So item 7 will be pulled. Are there, first I'll go to the consent calendar. Are there any of my colleagues need to pull any items? Okay, so I need to pull item 4. And then we do have public comments for item 6 and item 9. So for the consent minus, well, first, is there any public comment for the consent for any other items? Or is there a member of the public that wishes to speak? Sorry, I'm a little out of practice here.
Sorry, my mic's not on. Have the clerk read the consent items first, and then we'll do general public comment, and then we'll get back to the pulled consent items.
Full consent, got it.
Okay, we have item 5, revised lease agreement for office space for the Sustainability and Resilience Department at 801 Garden Street. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only an ordinance of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara authorizing the Sustainability and Resilience Director to execute a First Amendment to lease agreement number 28226 with FBK Investments for the property located at 801 Garden Street, Suites 200 and 201, commencing upon the effective date of the First Amendment, July 1st, 2025. Item 6, accept the donation from 1805 for the Santa Barbara Police Department's employee wellness programs. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara amending resolution number 24-066, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2025 to increase revenue and expenditure appropriations by $50,000 in the Police Department Miscellaneous Grants Fund. Item 7, fiscal year 2025 third quarter review. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara amending Resolution Number 25-018 to approve proposed third quarter adjustments to fiscal year 2025 revenue and expenditure appropriations as detailed in the attached schedule of proposed Q3 adjustments, and adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara amending position salary controlled resolution number 25-043 for authorized positions for fiscal year 2025. Human Resources Department requests council approval for the following adjustments, including the following position changes. Changes are effective May 31st, 2025. Item 8, intent to levy parking and business improvement area assessment rates and annual assessment report for fiscal year 2026. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara declaring council's intention to levy parking and business improvement area assessment rates for fiscal year 2026 at a public hearing to be held on June 17th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Item 9, memorandum of understanding between H. Ty Warner and the City of Santa Barbara for the gift in support of the Dwight Murphy Field Renewal Project. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara amending Resolution Number 24-066, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2025 to increase revenue and expenditure appropriations by $5 million in the fiscal year 2025 capital outlay fund for the Dwight Murphy Field Renewal Project. And item 13, TEFRA Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act hearing for California Municipal Finance Authority revenue and refunding bonds issuance. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the Council of the City of Santa Barbara approving issuance of revenue bonds by the California Municipal Finance Authority revenue and refunding bonds, Series 2025, Human Good California Obligated Group, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $205 million for the purpose of financing or refinancing the construction, furnishing, and equipping of Valle Verde, located in the City of Santa Barbara, California, and certain other matters relating thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So we have the consent. We have items 4, 6, 7, 9, and 13, which will be polled, and we'll vote on those separately. So is there a motion for the remainder of the balance of the consent?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made by Councilmember Harmon, seconded by Councilmember Gutierrez. And the vote, please.
We have a motion from Councilmember Harmon, seconded by Councilmember Gutierrez, to move the balance of the consent calendar minus items 4, 6, 7, 9, and 13. Go ahead and vote, please.
Motion passes with all members present, absent Mayor Rouse and Councilmember Jordan. And so now a report from the Finance Committee. A quick report was today at Finance we went over the third quarter financials and the recommendation for adjustments for the current fiscal year, and that was item 7 of the consent today on the council consent calendar. So we had forwarded that on and just approved it here again at council. And so now on to general public comment, and then we'll do the polled consent items for those who are waiting to speak to those other items. So general public comment, this is for items not on today's agenda, but under the purview of the City Council. So first up will be, I know this woman, Celeste Barber. I've known her my entire life, from minute one.
And I've known you before then, too. Mayor Pro Tem and also City Council members, I just wanted you all to know how happy I am today to see Councilmember Friedman back here. And the second thing I'd like to do is to extend my thank you and the family's thanks to everyone in the Santa Barbara community, in this beautiful community we call home, for your outpouring of support and your great love that you've extended to us. Those of you on the dais, those of you who work here in City Hall, Cottage Hospital, our friends, our neighbors, our community. I think most especially I'd like to remember with a big, big thank you to the Santa Barbara Outrigger Canoe Club, because they were Eric's first responders. And thank you so much, and I'd love to see you back, son.
Thanks for being here today, Mom.
I know, it's my job to embarrass you.
All right, next up is Craig Griffith, followed by Stephen Mead.
Hello, thank you for having me speak. I'm here on behalf of the residents of the Edgerly. Now, we've had one council person come speak with us, and we want more to come speak with us. You'll be hearing from us. Now, news about the Edgerly. You probably heard it. The Palms, which was at one time in a package deal with the Edgerly, has now been split off from that. Why? Hey, speculation is rife. We don't know. But what we're concerned about is, what have you, as city council, what have you done to encourage other foundations to take up the slack and take over the property? I know it's not your specific responsibility, and I know you've been approached by the foundation, the Battistone Foundation. And believe me, I have nothing against the Battistone Foundation. They're absolutely great. But things could fall through the crack and we could disappear. Now we're down to about 150 people who are facing the street. It could happen easily. Now, I know that one member of the council is a renter, and so you have the moral high ground today. Others, we don't have any place to go. For example, me, if I had to go and get a similar apartment, I would have to increase my income by a little over 8 times. Of course, I can't do that. And now in Santa Barbara, as you probably read in the Times, LA Times, the cutoff for low income is $98,850. What? I'm sorry, and that influences every bit of rental property in the county, but more specifically in Santa Barbara, where rents are more at a premium. I lost my primary care doctor and her engineer husband. They moved to Ventura because they couldn't afford what they wanted in Santa Barbara. A doctor. Anyway, just thought I'd come in and complain, keep the flea in your ear, beg for your help, and welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. All right, next up, Stephen Mead, followed by Jacqueline Inda, and then our last comment will be Leo Carlton.
Mayor Pro Tem and recovering paddler, thank you for being here. Thank you for my time here, all y'all. Now, you know what time it is, right? There's only really one reason I show up, and it's to invite you to the Santa Barbara Summer Solstice Celebration, 51st year. Who's ready? Thank you. 2 people trying to dodge me and don't think this heart attack thing is going to get you off the hook either. What we're going to do is try to get you guys out there and do the Pass the Hat float. It's going to be great this year. You've been wonderful. Bring the kids, because that is guilt, and that works really well. First timer, going to love you. Okay, so you know the dates, right? 20th, 21st, 22nd. Just to give you an idea of what solstice is, it's a celebration of Santa Barbara. It's unique. It's the type of thing that you're seeing all over the country get canceled because people can't seem to come up with insurance and these sorts of things. Now, the county, or the city rather, has been really good about putting the money towards the project for all these years. But let me tell you, it does come back to you in a million different ways. If you check how many hotels are available during that weekend, you'll find there are none. And you'll find that the rates are also pretty good. So that can't hurt for the TOT, all right? Also, You might notice if you go on Google and just do a little search about, just say solstice, we outdo Stonehenge. We're nationwide, but we're worldwide that day. You know what I mean? It's kind of a big deal. It's better than a soap opera or something like that. You know, so we're really kind of going strong. And with your continued support, we'll do it. Now, last year, Oscar and I had a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. I promise to be a little easier on you. Also, Kelly McAdoo, who decided to show up 5 days off the dock and grab a bucket and ask for money. That was pretty cool. Now, the Pass the Hat float is an integral part of what goes on, but it's also a good time to have a little bit of fun, so I appreciate all of you. Your invitation should have been in the mail, but it's hard to write those when you got a golf club in your hand, so I'll get that out today. And I'll tell you what, I look forward to seeing all of you, especially you, and these two guys that tried to dodge me today. I'll get them later. Thank you very much.
All right, see you at Solstice. All right, next up, Jacqueline Inda, and then followed by our final speaker, Leo Carlton.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council. My name is Jacqueline Inda, and I'm here to give you an update of Casa de la Raza, as I usually do in the last few months of our new federal administration. As you know, Casa has been facing some turbulent times with regard to space, but we still have a mission to serve our community. And because of that, and because of the need of our community, we have been doing a lot of different responses. And so I'd like to give you an update on that. One of the things that we've been exploring is potentially a Human Rights Commission at the county level. And we've been meeting with different folks to be able to encourage that process and be able to support that as other counties have adopted that part of structure and systemic change. The reason why it's important in this county, particularly in the city, is because our partners in Ventura and Oxnard have indicated that there have been 12 different ICE sightings, arrests, as compared to the 38 in the last few weeks in the city. It's a huge disparity in regards to numbers, in regards to enforcement over this area. One of the things that CASA has been doing is responding to the community in many different ways as much as possible with the limitations that we currently have. Not only with immigration rights, but also with the work that we've been doing to respond to the community tragedy in the incident that we were facing this weekend, to all of the families that were impacted. We hold the respect of our community close, and we thank you guys for the moment of silence in that. It's important that we also recognize that the folks in our community are struggling with a lot of different mental health issues, and that things as critical as one incident can cause a tipping point in our community. So as a part of a foundation of creating the Santa Barbara Response Network and responding into those kinds of emergencies, I uphold the most respect to not only our first responders, but to everybody who comes out to support the communities in the aftermath of these kinds of tragedies. We continue to provide that support at CASA. We'll continue to do that moving forward. And we obviously are doing a whole bunch of juggling to make sure that we do what we need to make sure the space is safe so that we can expand our work to the capacity that we usually do. We thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Inda. And last speaker is Leo Carlton.
Hi, how's it going? I'm sorry, I'm a terrible public speaker, but I didn't come here because, the only reason I came here is because I felt I need to. My name is Leo Carlton, and I came here today because I'm at a loss of what to do. Several of my neighbors witnessed 2 weeks ago a man dragging his dog outside of his van, which had been tied to his mirror. According to eyewitnesses, the only reason he stopped is because a bus pulled out in front of him, and after people questioned him and called the police, he fled with the dog and brought it to urgent care vet center on De La Vina. The police eventually got him, but despite the horrific wounds done to the dog and several eyewitnesses, the dog was allowed to return to him with no criminal charges being placed, according to the vet, which I called today. Last year, my dad had his van broken into with over $3,000 worth of tools and important parts stolen. After we contacted the police to investigate, they told my dad to do his own investigation. My dad is an electrician, not a detective or an officer, and while we do okay for ourselves, we certainly aren't rich enough, nor do we have the time to do an investigation of that scale. Now, I respect the police here, but I am frustrated and disappointed with the lack of action in these two instances. And I want to know what I can do as a citizen to see proper justice in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And That's the end of public comment, but before we go on, I'm going to use now to just say a few words on, just to thank people since it's public comment and it's appropriate time. Just real briefly, it's really great to be back in the chambers with all of you today and achieve this milestone in my recovery. And I just really want to thank my colleagues for all that you've done and the city staff for your support over this time. Also want to thank my teammates on Santa Barbara Outrigger Canoe. We were all close before, but we're a lot closer now after going through this, but they were incredible that day, as well as the first responders and the entire Santa Barbara community for your well wishes and support during what was an extremely challenging time for me and my family. And while I wasn't able to respond to the countless phone calls, texts, emails, and cards, please know that I have read each one of them over time, and it meant a lot to us, especially during the early stages when I was able to return home. And I also want to recognize the incredible staff at Cottage Hospital and the Cottage Rehabilitation Institute. I've always known how great they are, I think we all do, but going through this, especially the Rehabilitation Institute, we have just outstanding professionals who are extremely caring and they know their stuff, and they really pushed me to try to recover as quickly as possible, but also with care and compassion from the ICU to the cottage rehabilitation. And we just have outstanding individuals, and we're very blessed to have that facility here. So in closing, I just want to share one interesting outcome that I noticed from this experience. I kind of noticed it today, actually, is that I was trying to come up with a quote for my return, because I know you all missed them, but I couldn't find one. So this experience has really changed me, because I guess you could say it's rendered me quoteless. So it's great to be back, and I'll end with this. It's a real privilege to be able to sit up here with my colleagues every Tuesday because we're elected by the public. And we only have a limited number of days that we can do this throughout our entire lives. And it's a real honor to do so. And I felt that when I was far enough along in my recovery, I wanted to be here, but I also had an obligation to be here for the public that elected me. And every time I'm here, I feel blessed to be able to be here and be a part of this great city and all of you. So thank you very much, and I appreciate everything. All right. So with that, we're going to the pulled consent items. I have one speaker for item 6, Kirsten Cavendish Weston Smith.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I think we should take them in order, and then once the item is called, we can take the public comment on that item.
Sorry, I was going by the public comments that I had, so.
So the first item would be number 4.
Item number 4, and did you read that one into the record previously, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, we have item 4, subject minutes, recommendation that council waive reading and approve the minutes for the regular meeting of May 6, 2025.
So I just wanted to pull that to vote separately on it because I was not here during that meeting, so I'll be abstaining. And do you recommend that we vote on these as one at the end, or just vote on them individually?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I think since we are taking them off and doing them separately, we should just have a vote after each one.
So is there any comments? And if not, is there a motion to approve item 4?
I'll move item 4.
Moved by Councilmember Sneddon, second by Councilmember Harmon.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Sneddon, seconded by Councilmember Harmon, to approve the recommendation as made by staff. Go ahead and vote, please.
Passes 4, myself abstaining, and Mayor Rouse and Mike Jordan absent. Now on to item 6, and you did read that into the record previously. So this is Kirsten Cavendish Weston Smith for item 6.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me here. I'm Kirsten Cavendish Weston Smith, as you heard. I head up a non-profit called 1805. We're quite young. This is our 5th anniversary. We started originally in the mudslides, and we have our 12 chiefs on our advisory board. And today, it seems timely to say that we have given the City Police a grant for $50,000 for mental wellness and their peer support program. And we already support fire, and we hope to support everybody. But this is a start, and we were thrilled to be able to do this. So thank you to them, and thank you to you.
Thank you. And do I have a motion to approve item 6?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made by, made the motion? Member Gutierrez and second by Member Harmon. Vote, please.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Gutierrez, seconded by Councilmember Harmon, to approve the recommendation as made by staff. Go ahead and vote, please.
Passes unanimously with Mayor Rouse and Member Jordan absent. Now on to item 7. This was the third quarter review. There was a correction. Mr. DiMartini, if you could come up and explain the correction.
Good afternoon, members of the City Council. I'm Keith DiMartini, the Finance Director. There's a very minor clerical error on attachment 3 to your packet today. It is on page 7 of that document for the Golf Course Capital Fund. The second line in that section states that we will be increasing the appropriation in the Golf Capital Fund due to higher than budgeted costs for infrastructure repair project. It should be for $200,000 to match the revenue appropriation, not $20,000. So we inadvertently left off a 0. My apologies. There are no other changes noted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. DiMartini. So is there a motion to approve item 7 with the noted correction from Mr. DiMartini?
So moved.
Moved by Member Harmon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Member Gutierrez.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Harmon, seconded by Councilmember Gutierrez, to approve the recommendation as made by staff, including the clerical correction as indicated by Finance Director Mr. Keith DiMartini. Go ahead and vote, please.
Motion passed unanimously with all members present, Mayor Rouse and Member Jordan absent. On to item 9, we have a couple of speakers. Bill Medell, followed by Victoria Strong. Come on up.
Welcome back, Eric, Mayor Pro Tem Friedman, and council members. I'm Bill Medell, and it's my pleasure to be here representing Ty Warner. We are extremely excited to be able to bridge the gap in the shortfall in construction costs and provide the necessary funds to carry the Dwight Murphy Field project across the finish line. Once this project was presented to Ty Warner, it took him 3 minutes to say yes. And that was really due to the fantastic presentation that was given to me by Jill Zachary. She put together a really great package together that just, within 3 days, I had it in my desk and was able to present that to him. As soon as he saw that, it was a done deal. I also want to thank City Administrator Kelly McAdoo, City Attorney Sarah Knecht, and Parks and Recreation Manager Jill Zachary for their due diligence and collaboration in getting this deal done in such a short period of time. Everyone knows Ty Warner, the businessman, but few know the man himself. His generosity and contributions to nonprofits are worldwide, especially those related to children. This project touched his heart with Gwendolyn's Playground and all the amenities being available to children and families for generations to come. For Ty Warner, hearing the laughter from a child or seeing the joy in her face is priceless to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Medell, and thank you to Mr. Warner for his generous contribution. And anybody want to? You had a question? Okay, we can wait till after. Okay, Ms. Strong.
Good afternoon, City Council and Mayor Pro Tem. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today in this wonderful celebration of Mr. Warner's gift. This isn't just a donation. This is legacy. This is pushing this project forward and making it happen. And I know that, 9 years in, so many have been involved. You all have been absolutely incredible partners throughout this process. Parks and Rec has been absolutely wonderful partners and have seen the vision and the importance of inclusion from day one. This isn't something that I had to fight for. Our city has gotten it from the beginning, and I am so very proud of all of us. And I'm so very excited to see this come to fruition, and a huge, enormous thanks to Mr. Warner for making this happen. The timing feels honestly like divine intervention and or what I call Gwendolyn's magic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Sneddon, Member Sneddon.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Friedman. I just have extremely grateful for this. This is incredible. And I had a question from a member of the public who wanted to know about if any of the names of any portions of the park are changing or not with this. This will still be in Gwendolyn's name, yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Friedman and Councilmember Sneddon, the park name will remain Dwight Murphy Field in recognition of the generosity and partnership with the Gwendolyn Strong Foundation. The playground shall be named after Gwendolyn's playground. And then similarly, the generosity, the gift of Ty Warner, a portion of the park, the sports, we're calling the sports complex, because that's what it is, will be the Ty Warner Sports Complex at Dwight Murphy Field.
Thank you so much, and joining in the chorus of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. So with that, we do need to approve this. So is there a motion to approve this item? Moved by Councilmember Sneddon. Is there a second? Second by Member Harmon.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Sneddon, seconded by Councilmember Harmon to approve the recommendation as made by staff. Go ahead and vote, please.
Great. Approved by all members present, Mayor Rouse and Mike Jordan absent. Thank you and congratulations, and thank you to both of you for your leadership on this. So now we are on to item 13, the consent public hearing. And Mr. Clerk, can we open the hearing?
Yes, we have item 13, TEFRA, T-E-F-R-A, Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act hearing for California Municipal Finance Authority revenue and refunding bonds issuance. Recommending that council open a TEFRA public hearing, accept public comment, and close the TEFRA public hearing regarding the issuance of revenue and refunding bonds by the California Municipal Finance Authority in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $205 million, a portion of which in a principal amount not to exceed $20 million will be used for the benefit of the continuing care community known as Valle Verde, located at 900 Calle de los Amigos.
Great. And item B was previously read into the record. Any questions, comments? And if not, may I get a motion for
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, could you close open it and then close the public hearing?
First, need to close. First, is there any public comment, either here or online, for this item?
No speakers online, Mr.
And I will close the close the hearing and now entertain a motion. Moved by Member Sneddon.
Second.
Second by Member Harmon. May I have the vote, please?
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Sneddon, seconded by Councilmember Harmon to approve the recommendation as made by staff. Go ahead and vote, please.
Passes unanimously by all members present, Mayor Rouse and Member Jordan absent. And just wanted to state for the record that on general public comment, there were no public speakers online, just to put that in the record. And then now on to council and staff communications. Are there any? Member Sneddon.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Friedman. I attended the Peace Officer Memorial Service with Mayor Rouse, and it was very well attended. I stopped by the Fix-It Fair at the library. That was an incredible success. So many things happening there, repairing things, wooden things, bicycles, clothing, and they'll be doing that again. Attended the STESA fundraising event with Councilmember Friedman there as well. Attended the Riviera Association annual meeting. Again, we had our firefighters who have been going to many association meetings and giving information to the public, and was very well attended. Attended a Urban Creek walk up Mission Creek, the upper stretch. It was 4 miles, 8,000 steps they advertised it as, and very exciting, and also was joined by former Mayor Helene Schneider on that walk, and she was able to give a lot of historical context to a lot of the bridges, which was really interesting, and then attended the Kids Draw Architecture event, which was also well attended.
Great, thank you. And Member Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I attended, sorry, I lost track here. Oh, the Rotary meeting at Mulligan's last week. And I also attended the Spring Forward SBCC Foundation fundraiser. I meant to attend the STESA event, but I put the date wrong in my calendar, so I completely missed it. But looked like it was a blast. Yeah, and other than that, it's great to have you back, Eric. Coincidentally, my mom had emergency knee surgery 2 days before you went to the hospital, and they kept refusing me to allow me to see you. But then they told me that you didn't remember a few days, so I was gonna act like I visited you every day. You just couldn't remember, but.
Thanks for visiting me, as far as I know. Member Santa Maria.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Friedman. I attended the UCSB Economic Forecast, actually the day before last Tuesday, and then also the Santa Barbara City College Foundation's fundraising gala, and then also yesterday attended the New Beginnings Luncheon, where they were also discussing their work, very relevant to our Mental Health Awareness Month, since they are doing incredible work for our community around mental health as well. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I've been trying to keep it light, so I attended a few events. The Santa Barbara Outrigger Canoe Club hosted the Rig Run event. It's always fun because it's the place where teams from Northern California can also come down to Santa Barbara and race. So teams as far away as San Diego and San Francisco came down for that, and everywhere in between. Also attended the STESA event, and for those at home, STESA is Standing Together to End Sexual Assault. It's a very important organization here in our community, and it's Councilmember Sneddon there. And then also attended the 10th anniversary paddle out. I did not paddle out on that, but I was there for the in recognition or commemoration, I don't know the right word, but the Plains All-American oil spill. That took place 10 years ago. And thank you to our friends at the Environmental Defense Center, Surfrider, and others for putting that on to, so that we remember that event. And it's important that when we refer to that oil spill, that we would call it the Plains All-American oil spill and not the Refugio oil spill, because it was Plains that spilled the oil, not Refugio. And then also attended Central Coast Water Authority monthly meeting. And so with that, that's all she wrote, folks, and we are adjourned.